Hello, everybody. This is Uncle Vince, and I am here with Cousin Vito, and this is the brand, and this is Getting Color. Tonight's not going to be topical. Tonight's going to be Hell in a Cell. I know I just sat here and I watched about 3.5 hours, as I'm sure Vito did as well. Vito, how you doing today, my friend?
I am doing fine. I hope everybody's doing well. I'd just like to start the show off by saying thank you very much for all the fans out there who were concerned about my wife. My wife had a mini stroke. She's home. She came home yesterday, and I'm going to try to get her back on her feet. We have a doctor's appointment tomorrow with a specialist. We have aqua therapy during the week. But I just want to say I greatly appreciate all the overwhelming tweets and inboxes from all the people, from anywhere from the Real Network to Podcast One to Jeff Lane, Vince himself, all my friends out there. Thank you very much. The Big Vito brand is back. Guys, again, due to family circumstances in real life, wrestling is secondary to my life. My wife comes first. So if anybody's following the Big Vito brand, I apologize if I haven't been on top of it. But, family first, wrestling second. We'll get back and running in a few days. Just let me get my catch my breath and get on my feet. And Vince, lead the show off. Here we go.
Well, yeah, Vito, under the circumstances, I mean, listen, I didn't even expect you. Don't apologize to anybody. I didn't even expect you to do this show tonight. I wasn't counting on you to do the show tonight. I was, either going to do it by myself or get Lumpy Lane to do it. But, I really, really appreciate you, doing this show under the circumstances with your wife. I'm glad she's home, though, bro, and I'm glad she's got the best care in the world in you.
Thank you very much. All right, the Pavarotti of hard shots to the body is back. Vince, let's kick off this show. The Hell in a Cell, lead us to the promised land, Vince.
Vito, we're going to do this ass backwards. Okay? And we're going to start with the last match and we're going to work backwards. And I'll tell you why. Because I just watched the last match and so did you. And there are some things very fresh on my mind. Vito, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to open up with you. I'm going to be honest with you. Vito, I got to tell you something. We have a thing going on with the brand right now that if you join the brand up until October 14th, okay, if you join the Realm Network, you see all these shows on video. They get to see your beautiful voice on video, and I will personally give you a call and welcome you to the brand. That's going to end October 14th. All you got to do is go to the realmnetwork.com, relmnetwork.com, or russosbrand.com. This is why I bring that up, Vito, because I heard over and over and over again all these new people signing up for the Realm Network. What they love is our honesty. They know we're honest, bro. They know we have no agendas. We're not looking for the last WWE run. If we like it, we put it over. If we don't, we say it. And they love the honesty. And many of them told me they, with other podcasts out there and whatnot, they don't find the honesty we bring to the table. So that's why, bro, I want to start with the main event and I want to work backwards. Vito, I got to be honest with you. I was there for the first Hell in a Cell. As a matter of fact, Vito, not to put myself over, I actually came up with the name Hell in a Cell. Vince wanted to go beyond the traditional steel cage because he wanted to give the guys the opportunity to fight within the cell, but outside of the ring. So he wanted to come up with this cage that would allow us to do this. I threw Hell of the Cell out there. God, I think it was 20. I think tonight was the 20th year anniversary. So go back and do the math. 1997, I was writing this smack of writing this stuff. I wrote the first Undertaker. I didn't write it. I mean, they performed their first match. It was Undertaker and Shawn, but I booked it. Let me put it to you that way. And, bro, I was also there for the Mick Foley match, which I believe was the next year, Vito. Vito, listen, I'm just going to be honest here. As a human being, as a father, as a husband, I'm just going to be honest. What Mick did that night made me sick to my stomach because I cared about Mick. Forget wrestling, bro. Forget the television show. Forget the pay-per-view. Forget the ratings. As a human being, I cared about Mick. And the stuff he did that night, bro, work or no freaking work, it's freaking dangerous, bro. When you're working with a spectacle like that, 20 feet of steel and cage and sharp edges and and fall, when you're working with those parameters, bro, there is a great risk of injury. And Mick took like I think 3 hellacious bumps that night, and it made me sick. And I told him afterwards, I said, Mick, you're freaking crazy. I told him, I said, bro, you got a family. You got little kids. Like, seriously? Okay, bro, I get that you love wrestling. I get that you do it for the crowd and you get it for the love of the game. I get all that, bro. Trust me, I get all that. But at the end of the day, bro, it's got to come down to, responsible father, responsible husband, common sense. It's got to come down to that at the end of the day. Bro, I love Shane McMahon. I care very deeply about Shane McMahon. I don't know Kevin Owens. I know Kevin Owens has a family. I know Kevin Owens talks very dearly about his son. So, like, bro, I'm watching this match, and even going into this match, I know Shane raises the bar and raises the bar and raises the bar, but Shane's not 30 years old anymore. Okay, bro, Shane is in his early 40s, and I don't care if Shane thinks he's 15 in his brain. He's not, bro. He's a 40-plus-year-old man. He's got a beautiful family. He's got his whole life ahead of him. Bro, I hate this. I'll be honest with you, Vito. It makes me sick to my stomach. Listen, don't get me wrong. The WWE is doing everything for it to be safe. I'm not saying that. Bro, I'm sure they rehearsed this thing, got on top of the cage. Everybody was safe. But, bro, fighting on top of that cage for so freaking long, and then, the bumps, and thank God, bro, both bumps look clean. Nobody got hurt. But the bumps off the top, bro, this is a freaking work, Vito. Like, this is a freaking work. These aren't freaking professional stuntmen. No matter what they may think in their minds. Bro, I'm going to tell you something. Here's what's going to happen. The more they try to, top the bar, because obviously the animals in the arena don't care. They're chanting, this is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome, because they want to see somebody break their neck. So obviously they don't give a crap. Okay, bro? I do, because these are human beings. These guys have families. This is a work, bro. Okay, this isn't a freaking stunt show. I never saw Bruno take a bump from the top of the cage, bro. I never saw Hogan fall from the top of the cage, bro. This is a freaking work. And Vito, let me tell you right now what's going to happen. Keep raising the bar, keep raising the bar, keep raising the bar. Something is going to go horribly wrong one time, and somebody's going to wind up in a freaking wheelchair. This is not entertainment to me. And I'm just being honest, bro. I'm sitting here. I'm not enjoying this. I'm just hoping and praying somebody doesn't get freaking hurt. And like I said, bro, listen, I know it's a work, bro. I was in the business for 25 years, but I also know that they are increasing the risk in these matches that are a work, bro, and it's a freaking work. It's all yours, bro.
Well, I appreciate your passion about this work and stuff, but let's get down to business. Tonight's main event, Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. I've said before, Shane McMahon is probably one of the 10 best wrestlers of our generation, and he only does it part-time. The reason the bar is raised is because Shane McMahon is one of the only, if not the only person who can do these stunts or these high spots. When Mick Foley did it, it was oh my God, wow. When Mick Foley was every day doing these crazy things, That was along the ECW days. Mick Foley came along. They trashed him as not being a wrestler in WCW. Ric Flair did not like him, thought he was ridiculous. But, as this time went on, Hell in the Cell came. It did some great things. But when you look at it, Shane McMahon is the only one raising the bar. Now, like you said, he's a great wrestler. I think he's terrific. I think he's in the top 10 all time. That's my opinion, and that's my honest opinion. But when you look at Shane, like you said, hey, you're 45 years old. Did he get tired out there and did he get blown up? Absolutely. I saw it in his face. He took his time. He paced himself. He could still do the garbage can across the ring. When he went up there and took the bumps on the cage, hey, it was carefully done. It was precaution. It was safe. Now, Kevin Owens is trying to get over as a monster heel, trying to be hang there. There's not going to be another Shane McMahon. There's not going to be anybody to raise the bar. How many more Hell in the Cells does Shane McMahon have? I'm telling you, I think like it's only going to be maybe one or two before he realizes what you're saying. I'm a family man. I got to really cut this out. I already survived the plane crash. I can only survive so many Hell in the Cell crashes before it takes a toll on your body. Like you said, you never know. You slip, you fall, you get an edge, you catch the edge of a table, the edge of the stairs, you cut your face open, you break your arm, you break your back, something can happen. As far as the finish of the match, I thought it was a great finish, not to beat both men and to have a run in by Sami Zayn because it definitely was took the crowd by surprise. Kevin Owens has been effective in a pair like when he was with Jericho. I think as a single, he kind of fizzled out. They had to bring Shane McMahon to elevate him. And I think that Kevin Owens in a pair with Sami Zayn will do great business for the SmackDown brand because let's face it, so many guys can only carry the ball. I'm not saying that Kevin Owens didn't carry the ball, but he's better equipped to be work with a partner, not being a tag team, but to have a sidekick. And as far as Shane McMahon goes, guys, like you said, Vince, you know him personally. I know him personally. He has a love for the business. His father does push him and expect him to do the great things to represent the McMahon family. He puts him in these different positions and he's obligated and he has to fulfill it. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to be safe. But as well as you know and I know, there's a lot of pride in the McMahon family. And when it comes to doing these things on the pay-per-views, they like to stand out because the McMahons are the best. They want to prove they're the best. They're superior to everybody. It doesn't matter if you're writing the show, you're emptying trash, you're doing it. If your last name is McMahon, you're going to be the star of the show. And that's what happened tonight. Shane McMahon represented the McMahon family. He did an excellent job. The finish, hey, nobody was a loser tonight, guys, out there. I'll repeat it. Nobody was a loser. Both guys won. So, and that was the best match of the night. Vince, you could have it back.
Yeah, I like what they did. I like what they did for the fish because listen, bro, as much as I give Sami Zayn hell, I'm happy that they're doing something with him. I mean, and hopefully this will be an opportunity. Hopefully this will be a chance to give him a character and let's see a little bit of emotion. And I mean, hopefully this is a break for him. If you, like you said, bro, if they can put Owens and Zayn together and make them stronger and more viable to the company and the brand, great. Bro, I don't like watching wrestling where I have to worry about somebody getting hurt. That's all. That's me because I think it's stupid, bro. Guys were over long before, bro, they did any of this crazy stuff. I can't, bro. Can you see Chief Jay Strong, bro, taking a bump from the top of a 20-foot cage?
No, I can't. But you want to know, Vince? You're not writing anymore, okay? And this is just coming looking from the outside. When you're on the inside, you write your product and you write your TV. I understand you might not be too crazy about things, but the momentum, the drive, the adrenaline for these things to come off as you're writing them, because you want it presented correctly. Now you're sitting back as a broadcaster and an analyst like I am, and you definitely have a different view of it because you're thinking of other things. family, real life safety. You're not thinking of the oohs and the ahs, but you're thinking of, hey, I don't want the guy to get hurt. This really isn't that smart. You're looking at it from a different perspective. And that's what the people should understand and respect, is that we're giving a different respect
Vito, I got to
perspective
be
to them.
honest with you, bro. Though I gave the same respect, I gave the same perspective when I was there, Vito. Because bro, listen, when we're booking a match, okay, bro, I'm booking, Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley versus The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell. I'm not laying out the match. I'm just booking the match. At that point, I'm handing it over to the individuals, the professionals. I hated it then, bro. Bro, I'll never forget. There was an X Division match at TNA, bro, and I'll never freaking forget. Christopher Daniels did something that was like freaking ludicrous, bro. And I remember watching it on the monitor, and like the same, my emotions were the same. Like, you out of your freaking mind, bro. This is a work. You're really gonna break. It was freaking ludicrous. And I remember later that night, bro. I think it was. I'm almost positive it was Frankie Kazarian. I want to say it was Frankie or AJ. I think it was Frankie. They kind of came up to me and cut a promo on me because of what Chris Daniels did in the ring. And I was like, wait a minute, bro. I didn't write for Chris Daniels to do that in the ring. As a matter of fact, I think Chris Daniels was out of his freaking mind for doing that in the ring. And I would never in a million years ask anybody to put their risk body. Bro, I remember, remember at TNA when Daphne got really effed up? And I remember, bro, I knew nothing about how that match was laid out. I knew nothing about what they were going to do. And then I watched it on the monitor, and I was freaking ballistic. They put that poor girl in a situation where she was badly freaking hurt. So I just want to say, for the record, bro, this was the same stance I took when I worked there. I would have never written for, these bumps and this spot. Man, I just think safety first,
I got a question for you then, okay?
Yep.
Now, this is for the people out there, and this is giving you some real life scenario on what's the booking aspect and what the agent aspect. Do you think, Vince, as a writer and the booker of the match, that you should have some say when the agent wants to do some spots in the ring? I know you don't want to put together the match, but do you think it is the responsibility of the creative side to say, hey, we don't want no dangerous spots, hey, we don't want no table spots, and et cetera, et cetera? I mean, do you think that would be viable?
I think that's 100% on the agent. That's why a lot of these times I put all the freaking heat on the agent, because, Vito, you know as well as I do, wrestlers don't think rationally, bro. They think they're invincible. They want to have the best pop of the night, the best match of the night. They don't think logically. I say this all the time, bro. So many times you got to protect the boys from the boys. You got to protect them from themselves. And that's why when I see stuff like that, to me, I put all the freaking heat on the agents, because there's got to be a third man there that's usually an experienced veteran that's got to know in his mind, okay, they're going to take all the precautions. This is going to be safe. But A, is that necessary? B, is there a chance of a really bad injury? There's got to be somebody freaking level-headed in on those discussions. I don't believe that's the writer, bro, because as a writer, I wasn't a wrestler. I wasn't a worker. I can't tell you what's safe and what's not safe, that because I didn't do it. But a veteran of the business, that's been there and done that, that's their job. So a lot of times, man, I put the heat on the agent, because the boys will go out there and do freaking anything if nobody doesn't say no. That's my view.
No, I hear you, but on the same token, now you have to save the boys from the boys. You forget the agents are the boys, and saving the Asians from the boys is kind of
Yeah.
a hard thing to do.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. All right, bro. What you think about, let's work backwards. What you think about Rude and Ziggler?
Uh, I, I, I didn't. I wasn't into the
It was
match.
flat. It
I just
definitely was
didn't.
flat. I
It
agree with
was
you.
flat.
Yeah, I agree.
I did not dig it. I think they're trying to push, Bobby Roode. They shouldn't. If they were gonna, if you're gonna beat Ziggler, run out of the ring, do your glorious, and be happy. But to give Ziggler back his heat after he beat him, what was the purpose of that if they've been doing for weeks that Ziggler hates the business, doesn't know what he wants to do? I understand you want to be a heel. You want him to be a heel. Are you pushing him to be a monster heel? Are you pushing him to be just to have a little program at Rude? So it was kind of wishy-washy on what they were going to do because here's Rude trying to get over on a pay-per-view, trying to build his character. And then you have Ziggler, who's, world champion. He's kind of in flux. So you don't know which way they're going to go with him. Getting the victory, and then the people forgot the victory. What do they remember? They remember Ziggler getting the heat. So I think it was kind of a flat waste of a match. They could have did a better finish than that.
Yeah, and not only that, bro, they're remembering Ziggler getting the heat, but I thought it was much more clever that Rude, who's perceived as the baby face, had a screwed Ziggler by holding the tights. I thought that would have been a hell of a lot more interesting than freaking, Ziggler getting his heat back. Like the fact that the heel got screwed, I thought that was a lot more interesting than giving Ziggler his heat back. Bro, I got to tell you something, Vito. As a guy, you that pride yourself on your body. Bro, Bobby Roode is no spring chicken, and I worked with Bobby Roode for a very, very, very long time. Bro, he's in phenomenal shape, man.
Looks absolutely great. He is in tremendous shape. He's in WWE shape. That is what
God,
they
he's so
wanted.
freaking lean, bro. He looks like he doesn't have an ounce of fat on him, bro.
He looks great, and I understand the finish that you're saying. And you know what? That would have been the perfect swerve and a
Yeah,
perfect finish for
right.
Bobby Roode to turn heel and make Ziggler a babyface. And then they could have had a program like that and gave Ziggler the rub with Rude the rub with Ziggler. And then if you had Rude beat him at the end, you would have got more bang for your buck on that kind of finish.
Yeah,
You're
I agree
absolutely
with
right.
you. All right, let's go to Jinder and Nakamura.
They definitely got the finish right on who they wanted to win. I just think there's another match that we saw. It was okay. It was lackluster. It wasn't anything that popped me or anything that made me stand out. I thought it was great. The great thing about the match was they got rid of the two Balio guys, these
Yeah,
valets.
yeah,
I thought that was significant because it gave Mahal the win by himself,
yeah. We've
and
been
it was
talking about that for months and months and months and months. Hey, keep that thought. I want to back up to Rude and Ziggler for a while because I forgot a little bit of a side note.
okay.
Okay, Vito. Vito, the referee of that match is one Rudy Charles. Okay, bro.
Right.
And every year, bro, Rudy Charles lives in Evansville, Indiana, where I live right now. Okay, bro? Vito, every year in Evansville, Indiana, for the last 50 years, they have what is called the Fall Festival. This is supposed to be, they promote this as the second biggest festival behind Mardi Gras. Okay? Vito, an entire street is lined up with on one side of the street and the other side of the street, food truck after food truck after food truck after food truck. Vito, there are 100 food trucks with every freaking unhealthy, disgusting food you can imagine. I'm talking Strombolis, I'm talking the Pronto Pups, I'm talking the elephant ears. Bro, whatever you could shove in your face that's going to kill you is available at this fall festival. Now, I know for a fact Rudy Charles frequents the fall festival. It runs 1 week. It went from Monday through Saturday. Okay, bro? I know Rudy Charles, when he's not on the road, is there every single day. So I'm watching him referee the match between Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And I'm looking at this Rudy Charles, Vito, and I'm asking myself, how many elephanias can one guy freaking eat? Because, bro, I swear to you, I saw Rudy Charles on SmackDown on freaking Tuesday. I know he came home for the Fall Festival, which meant he went Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, probably left on Saturday to go to the pay-per-view. So he went there for 3 straight days. Bro, the guy put on 20 pounds since freaking Tuesday. So I posed the question, how many elephanias can one freaking human being eat in the span of 3 days?
Well, I tell you, when you're making money and you got a steady paycheck in, money's no object. You eat to your heart desires. And being that he's an Evansville guy and he's with the fan festival, hey, it was a good time. It was probably his spring break. Got to do what he wants. He had a little vacation.
Bro, he was busting out of the referee shirt, bro. But he was bigger than Kevin Owens almost.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, Vin, you know. But I'm glad to see that you stayed by I'm glad to see you stayed by the salad bar.
I didn't go at all, bro. I didn't even go one single day to the place. All right, see, Vito, I've been saying it for months and months and months. Jinder Mahal looks the freaking part. You know, Vince McMahon, I'm telling you, bro, it's all Vince. We're going to put these 2 little heels with them so he could be a heel. He's got to cheat to win. And to me, that's freaking ludicrous. The guy looks legit. The guy's got an unbelievable body. I don't think they should use those 2 guys. So I was very, very, very happy. They sent those 2 guys to the back, and he took care of business with Nakamura clean. I was happy about the booking of that match.
And I said from the beginning, Nakamura just does not have that star quality, doesn't have that it quality, and he will be a mid-carder. He might get a run as a U.S. champ or an Intercontinental champ, but to be a world champion, I'm going to have to go back to Japan for that.
Okay, Vito, I want to talk about a couple of things with Natalya and Charlotte.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I love Charlotte. I'm a big fan of Charlotte. Bro, I'm not a big Natalya fan. I'm just not. I don't know what it is. I'm just not. I'm just not. You know, I mean, she's a great wrestler. You know, the bloodlines are there. You know, her father, the Anvil, and the Hart family and all that. And I'm not taking anything away from her work. I'm just not a fan of her. Charlotte, on the other hand, I love. I think it's fair to say I discovered Charlotte in the vignettes with Ric Flair when she was about 7 years old. 2 things, bro, I want to talk about this match. Here's number 1, Vito. I felt they hurt the match working the leg for as long as they did. I really felt, I mean, bro, you want to do it towards the end. Well, I just felt it took away from the freaking match, her selling that leg, which seemed like through the entire match. I see you shaking your head there, Vito. What did you think?
I think, well, first I want to answer your question about Natalya. She is a great wrestler. The things that she lacks is charisma. She doesn't have the oomph behind her character. Now, what you said about Charlotte with the leg, making Charlotte sell the leg for all that time put Charlotte on the same level as Natalya because Charlotte is a better wrestler. I think she's head over heels over Natalya, and by cutting her down to 1 leg, it put them on an even playing field. And I look forward to that match because I expected to see Charlotte shine in that match. And what I got out of that match, it was a dull match. It was a dull heel thing. Natalya wasn't aggressive enough to be like vicious. I'm sure, I know at the end she used the chair and she did that. But during working the legs, she just didn't have that, like, go get him, heel, I'm the champion, throw it in your face. It just was another lackluster match, in my opinion.
Yeah. Vito, can you talk to me about this? And I know you're very, very old school and you're very traditional. So am I. You know that in a lot of aspects. But, Vito, I got to tell you something, man. This is what I think really hurts the business, especially, you know, UFC and this, that, and the other thing. Bro, there are some things in wrestling in 2017 that just don't freaking work. And if you're a casual fan of the business or a casual television fan and you watch wrestling, these things stand out like a sore freaking thumb. But yet, Vito, nobody will ever change anything. That's one of the problems with wrestling. It never changes. Nobody will ever change anything. Bro, we've seen baseball evolve. We've seen basketball evolve. Professional sports freaking evolve. Nothing ever evolves in wrestling. Vito, they've got to freaking change that in 2017. If you got a heel champion that can get themselves DQ'd at any freaking time and still be the heel champion, it's freaking ridiculous, bro. And I don't want to hear creative. Creative has nothing with it. I just started booking Rocky Mountain Pro, and the first thing I did, I'm writing it. The first thing I did is if the champion gets disqualified or counted out, the title changes hands, because those things are so freaking ridiculous, bro. Natalya could have been in trouble the whole match, hit Charlotte with a chair. She gets disqualified and she still has her title. It's so freaking stupid, ridiculous. It doesn't work in 2017, and you gotta get freaking more creative than that, because, bro, it doesn't make any sense. It never did. But, you know, bro, it was okay when you had the Brady Bunch on TV. Okay, bro, when you got shows like Game of Thrones and this sophistication of television, stupid crap like that does not freaking work. Go ahead.
Now, I would say this. You're absolutely right. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give the people an example. Guys, when you have a non-title match, what happens every non-title match? The challenger always wins. So that takes the aura out of it, because if you're a smart wrestling fan, you know the next time these two mix it up, the champion will win. Now, if they make it a real prestigious thing, you have the title, it's on the line all the time, it's a no disqualification match, and you enforce the rules, now that gives everybody an equal playing field. You can't get disqualified. You can't lose the match. There will be a title change. And I agree, if they added that stipulation, it would definitely change the concept and the perception of wrestling on how people look at it. It might give it a little fun. You could definitely do a lot more with it. But I think you're right by having a no disqualification match and the title changes hands, on all championship matches, win or lose, draw. You got to have something. I think you're right.
It's so
I think that would
silly,
be
bro.
something good.
They gotta make changes where changes are needed, bro. They gotta bring this up to speed. Okay, bro, what did you think about AJ, Corbin, and Dillinger?
Okay. Now we talked about AJ being champion. We talked about Dillinger getting the rub, and we talked about Baron Corbin. I think that Baron Corbin won that title tonight because of all the heat he got over the NFL concussion lawsuit, him being involved in the lawsuit. Everybody on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, just everybody knows he got denounced with his push. He got his push taken away. He got unpushed. The dirt sheets carried it. And I think that was to quiet the people down, to set the record straight. Like, okay, let's calm down. Let's not concentrate on the lawsuit with the NFL. Let's forget that he's a football player. Let's forget that he stood up for himself. Let's forget all these things. We're going to give him the title now. Well, we already went through the mess, and the point was taken. Okay, you slapped him on the wrist. You said, bad boy for speaking up. I thought in the match it was good that he won because the guy worked to get it. We'll see how it goes. I thought Dillinger, he did a good job in there, and I thought he presented himself well. I would have liked to see him get a little bit more offense. AJ carried the match. He did all his stuff. He did phenomenal in there. He did great. But I think it was just a time to change the title and give Corbin a little bit of a run to see what he does with it. I could see Dillinger going into a program with Corbin, and I could see Dillinger possibly winning the next title shot.
Really?
Yeah. They got to
Because
have new blood. They got to have new guys. They have to.
Vito, they got to have new blood and they got to have new guys. But here's the thing. I'm watching this whole match and I'm looking at this match, and here's all I just keep telling myself is Dillinger does not belong. He just doesn't belong in this match. And, bro, here's the deal. And this is not a knock against Ty Dillinger. Well, first of all, bro, he does pretty much look like a regular guy. There's nothing outstanding or unique or memorable about the guy. There really isn't. He looks like a regular guy. But aside from that, bro, they've given him nothing. Okay, he's the perfect 10. I don't even know what that means, bro. Does that mean he's got 10 inches? I don't even know what that means. When Kurt Hennig was Mr. Perfect, we saw him bowl 300 games. We saw him get a hole in one. We saw why he was perfect. I don't know why Dillinger's the 10 guy. I don't understand that. So they've done this guy no favors character-wise, building this guy, making him a somebody. To me, it was just obvious, okay, bro, we're going to throw this guy in the match so he could take the pinfall. That's why we're going to throw him in the match. So Corbin doesn't have to beat AJ or vice versa. He's going to take the pinfall. And I'm not saying he did the bad job at all. Bro, I honestly feel, bro, this may have been, these three guys worked really hard. They worked really, really hard in this match. They all busted their ass. This may be one of the best matches I ever saw Corbin in. But it to me, it was like the old Sesame Street, though, which guy doesn't belong. Like I just knew, okay, Dillinger's in there to take the 1, 2, 3. They got it. Even if he would have went over, bro, that's not enough to make the guy. They've got to give him some kind of a freaking clear-cut character and purpose, especially since there's nothing outstanding about him. Bro, I swear, Vito, people don't understand in this day and age. And I want you to explain it to them a little bit because you hear the term a lot. And like I'm the first guy, I always put the heat on creative. If a guy doesn't get over, even in my day, I put the heat on creative. However, and Steve Austin has said this, whether the creative sucks or not, a guy's got to be able to get himself over. Enzo Amore got himself over, bro. And let me tell you how Enzo got himself over. Not only his mouth, of course his mouth. Bro, Enzo spends the money on new ring gear for practically every show. Every show he's wearing something different, outstanding, and it stands out and it makes him different. Bro, just the way he wears his hair, the way he wears crazy hats, he takes that time to get himself over. And a lot of these guys, bro, we can use the excuse it's creative, it's creative, it's creative, it's creative. But Vito, you got to explain to people, when you're given that 8-minute match, you have 8 minutes on that show to get your brand over. And the bottom line is you could blame it on creative. You could say creative sucks. But, bro, they're giving you a free 8-minute advertisement. Now, in that same 8-minute advertisement, I'm going to remember Enzo Amore. I'm going to remember that brand. Ty Dillinger, I'm going to remember the guy had a 10 on his ass. That's what I'm going to remember. Can you explain to people out there, the art of getting yourself over?
Well, here's what the thing we had a conversation about. We'll bring up Jinder Mahal. There's a guy who looks like a champion, has the body of a champion. You could pick him out of a lineup and say that guy is somebody. And a lot of guys don't have the look that we're looking for to be this ass kicker kind of guy, or this guy who looks like he's a wrestler, looks like a tough guy. We don't have too many of those out there. So when we bring up Ty Dillinger, he's got a pretty boy look. He's probably got the young crowd with him. So I can understand that. When you're given a chance to be on TV, guys, you got to give yourself that persona. You got to give yourself, you got to believe in your character. You have to change your shirts, change your dresses, invest in your gimmick. When you invest time in yourself and you ask questions about what did I miss on my promo, it's up to you to deliver it. They can give you what you got to say, but I can tell you from myself, I'd read the sheet, I'd add it in my own verbiage, and then it comes out me because I'm being myself. If guys are too flat and they're just waiting for your creative to make them win or make them go over or tell them what to do, you have to think when you're in the ring. You have to have the intelligence. You have to have the psychology. There's a whole mix, and it just doesn't be a um, a wrestler with a pair of boots and a pair of tights and going in there and talking to smack. Enzo Amore, he can't wrestle worth a lick. He does invest in his gimmick. He does have the character. He's got the charisma. The guy's main eventing Raw the last 2 weeks. He did put 205 on its back, and he's the main guy right now in on Raw. And I think a lot of people misunderstand, what it takes to be a champion. You got to invest. You got to wear the suits. You got to present yourself. You got to work on yourself. Practice in the mirror. See what sells. See what doesn't sell. If it sounds stupid and people laugh, hey, maybe that's catchy. Maybe that'll work. Everybody's afraid to try things because they're afraid to make a mistake. If you are willing to take the chance, you're willing to succeed. You can't wait for things to be perfect because nothing is ever perfect. It's just like Vince Russo writes something on his creative sheet. Hey, he's not guaranteeing it'll go over, but to him it's good and creative. So he'll put it out there. Now, it's up to the guy to get that idea over so it comes across to the audience in a good way. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But if you write it and the guy presents it good, it's up to the talent to get over and to make himself viable to be on TV. You have 8 minutes. Let's see what you got, kid. Let's see what you can do. Hey, I'll take 9 minutes if you got it next time. Did you like what I did? Yes. Thank you very much. I'll work on it there. So the next week, you're working on your stuff. You go to TV. Hey, Vito, we only have 5 minutes for you. Hey, thank you. I'm gonna cram my 9 minutes into 5 minutes, and boy, are you gonna be entertained. I'll do a great job. Thank you very much. You gotta push yourself, people. Take a chance. Take a chance on you. And that goes not just for wrestling. That goes for your job, your personal life. If you never explore anything and you never the life at a party, how do you know if you're funny? Tell a joke. You might surprise yourself. Go ahead, Vince.
Hey, bro, we're talking about Corbin, okay? Bro,
Okay.
I would love who like bro, we can go back a couple of years, okay? Bro, what did Rusev do? Who did he piss off? Who did he cut a promo on for looking at Lana cross-eyed? Bro, I don't understand the whole Rusev thing. They had this guy on the freaking fringe of main event status, on the freaking fringe, bro. If at the right time when he was doing that gimmick with the USA and everything, bro, if they would have brought Kurt in at the right time and built up a match with him and Angle and put Rusev over, he was off to the freaking races. Why does Randy Orton need this win more than Rusev? And what could he have possibly done to piss people off?
There has to be something done. It has to be something backstage. Could be with his wife. It could be he said something to somebody about looking at my wife. And that's the problem with having couples in wrestling
Big
because
time.
guys take personal when, okay, you got a sexy lady with you and it's your wife or your girlfriend who you're dating. Everybody's gawking at them. And you might take it personally that they're doing something. You might say something to the wrong person who's in creative that controls your push. So that could be a problem. Maybe Rusev, he is protective of his wife. He does love his wife, and he doesn't want people looking at her in that kind of manner. And maybe that's what happened. As far as him being a legit guy and a real deal. He is one of my favorite heels, and they killed him. They killed him because he's believable. He's got a good look. He trimmed up his body. He could do the gimmick, and they just use him as just a stepping board. Randy Orton and him. Randy Orton already beat him once, beat him twice. Already gave him the RKO on the last go home. There was no need for them to beat him. If we would have seen Lana run in and make the save and Rusev schoolboy him, now we got something. Lana and Rusev are back. Now the guy's back on track. I just think it was just a wasted match, and it just had no oomph to it. Definitely
I don't get it. I'll tell you what, though, I did enjoy the first match because I enjoyed the violent nature of the Usos, and I enjoyed them, tying in the cage to the penitentiary. And bro, that should be their gimmick. That literally going forward when they have a big match, it should be in their penitentiary. Because bro, this side I saw of the Usos tonight, bro, I don't think anybody could beat them. I think it's very, very believable. I love tying in the cage with the penitentiary gimmick. I love the level of violence today. They beat the comedy act. I thought this was very, very, very successful tonight.
Best match of the night. And when the Usos are on pay-per-view, if you notice, guys, they lead off the pay-per-view, their opening match, they get the crowd amped up. These guys are legit. The penitentiary match, I liked all the spots. I thought it was vicious. It was safe. It was done, well done. The guys all worked hard. They all hit their spots. Everybody had a shine moment with the kendo sticks. Everybody had a shine moment getting some heat on them. Everybody sold well. And the false finishes they had, I thought it was great. And the one part they had in there where they had the kendo sticks and they tied up one of the Usos in the corner of the cage, I thought that was very creative. When they had the kendo sticks all in the chains and everything,
Yeah.
and when they had them in a quarter.
Yeah.
The other creative thing I thought is when they hung one of the New Day over the top and they gave them the sticks to the stomach. I thought that was great. That's definitely penitentiary stuff. I mean,
I would like to see, I would like to see coming out of this the way the Usos raise the bar. I would like coming at it, bro. Like one time, I'd like to see these New Day guys serious one time. You know what I'm saying, bro? I would like to see that Big E like really freaking pissed off, lose the freaking colors, bro. Like, bro, what are they gonna do that they haven't already done? We got the trombone. We got the same open, bro. Who knows? Maybe they're selling hundreds of $1 million worth of merch that I don't know about. But to me, bro, we've played the gimmick, bro. You know where they're at? They're at the same spot they were at with the Usos. Bro, remember the Usos used to wear the gimmick
Right.
and the but and I used to sit there and say, okay, bro, move on with the Usos. You need to get them in a new gimmick. That's old and tired. Now New Day has taken over that spot. This is a perfect example or a time for them to come off of this more freaking serious. I would love to see that, bro, because I mean, if these guys were vicious animals, they got beat, they cut because they're clowns. Now's a perfect time to change that, in my opinion.
But I think if you're gonna change them, Vince, right? Now you have Kofi. He did the African gimmick where he was on the Jamaican gimmick. I'm sorry, he did the Jamaican gimmick. You had the big man, Big E. He was a singles champion. You had the other guy come in, and he was kind of a character. And if we're gonna stereotype these guys, you can't make them thugs because the Usos are thugs. You can't make them corporate white guys because Chavo did that when he did the Kerwin White. Where could you go with them? The only thing you could do is
go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say the only thing you would do with these guys is if you separate them. You say, we had a good run, and you had a farewell, and they went separate. But what three-man group could you do?
I would just make them real, bro. I would make them real. I would have trouble in the group. I would have maybe Big E tired of being taken as a joke. Bro, you want to hear something funny? Again, let's talk about 2017, Vito. Bro, I got this thing going on now. You join the Realm Network. Up until October 14th, I am going to call you personally. Okay, bro? I got to tell you something. I made a phone call today to a gentleman by the name of Martin. Let me tell you where Martin was from, bro. But you know, I'm going down my list. I'm calling people today. I call this guy Martin from California, African American, very intelligent guy. Very intelligent guy. We had a great conversation, and then he started talking to me about the proper presentation of a black man in 2017. And he said to me, Vince, why do we have to be clowns? Why do we have to be, you know, I don't play a trombone. I don't dress like a rainbow. I don't eat bootios. Why are we represented as three clowns on the WWE? And then, bro, we got to talking about, because he remembered, I didn't think he would remember this because he was younger than me, bro. Bro, remember when Ron Simmons won the WCW championship, bro? Ron Simmons, bro, he beat Vader, you know, the real deal, Florida State, and bro, every black man and woman and child in the world could be proud of him. And this was the real deal. And bro, I got to tell you something. The WWE has not had that in a very, very, very long time. You know, even The Rock wasn't that, because The Rock was entertaining. The Rock was all mouth, you know, the eyebrow, you know. But I'm talking about, bro, I'm talking about like a black Pedro Morales. Okay, a black Bruno Sammartino, that African American, that strong, good looking, that really, you know, represents his people. They've not done that, bro, and I can't tell you how long. That's what
tell you how long.
How
I
long?
can tell you. Ahmed Johnson.
Ahmed Johnson. That's what they're missing, bro, and that's what they can get out of this. If bro, like if I was writing this story, here's where to me it would be all about Big E. Coming off of this match tonight, they got their asses kicked brutally. You know, the Usos were no fun in games, bro. They took it to them. If I'm Big E, that's going to affect me now, and I'm gonna look at. Wait a minute, man. What have we been doing here? Do we want to be wrestlers? Do we want to be in the wrestling business, or do we want to sell children's cereal? I mean I would just let it organically happen. But yeah, you know, bro, to me, like, come on, man, it's you've got to let these characters freaking grow. You got to let the circumstances shape the events that evolve them. And now's the time to do that with these three guys, in my opinion.
I think you're right. I think if you kept Kofi and the other kid together as a tag team, I think that would be fine. If you made Big E, you know, go off on a singles tangent and you know, put himself. I could see Big E going in a program with Corbin, where he had enough. He wants a title shot. That would be good. I could see the other two guys forming a tag, staying together as a tag team, eating their cereal, maybe coming and, you know, watching Big E eating the cereal by ringside where Big E's, you know, wrestling. But I can see Big E going on his own, and he's ready for another singles push. But you know, it's like anything else. You know, like you said, how many guys have that look? How many guys have that persona? How many, you know, black men in the WWE have that, what it takes to be that Ron Simmons? And
Bro, you're gonna tell me
Ahmed
you're
Johnson.
gonna tell me Titus O'Neil doesn't have that?
Titus O'Neil's not a good. He's got charisma. He can't doesn't have the wrestling skills.
Well, but they could protect him though.
They just finished trying to give Titus O'Neil a push before he went into the manager's role, and they did give him a shot when he came back from that suspension, and they did try to push him, and he just did not have it.
You think? Okay, fair enough. What'd you think of the pay-per-view overall, bro?
Uh, I thought the pay-per-view overall was flat, and I thought that it just didn't have I thought the crowd was dead. I thought they could have did things a little bit different as far as the Natalie title match. I think you know the Jinder Mahal match was okay. The AJ Styles match was a good match. The Usos was a good match. But it was just the other match. I thought the last match was good. It gave a good ending. But I just thought overall, like, it was just a flat pay-per-view. And it's not taking away from what the guys, how they
No, it
worked or
never is. It
anything.
never is, bro. Bro, the guys and girl, bro. Listen, let me speak for Vito here, and I've said this all the time. If you're an animal called a professional wrestler, you go out there balls to the wall every freaking time. Bro, I never met a group of guys and women that have so much freaking pride. It's never their work, bro. It's never their work. They're always out there. And I'm not talking if they're bad workers. I'm talking effort. I'm talking effort, bro. These guys
I
and
got you.
girls work their freaking asses off. Can I tell you what the problem is in a big nutshell?
Go ahead, give it to me.
This is where, bro. I say this all the time, Vito, based on experience. This is where the wrestling business kills the wrestling business. Okay, bro. They've got their built-in fans now. Okay, bro. Look at go back and watch this show on the WWE network and watch the front row of fans. That's their built-in audience. Okay, bro. They've got their built-in audience, which now is kind of thinning out to about 2.5 million people. Okay, bro. They got those. Those are people that eat, breathe, crap, piss professional wrestling. They ain't going anywhere. They're always going to have those people. Okay. In order to get the masses back, they've got to go beyond those people. That's what we did with the Attitude Era, bro. We knew we already had the diehards. We had to go out there and get everybody else. Okay. With that being said, Vito, let me tell you something as a television viewer. Last week, bro, they're dipping down now to about 2.5. Bro, the last hour of Raw last week was 2.3 million. Okay? Vito, we're getting now full bore into Monday Night Football. Okay? Right. We're getting now into the playoffs. Okay, bro, we've got, we've got the divisional series now. Then we're going to get into the championship series, then the World Series. Okay, bro, basketball starting up again. Okay, so we're getting into a very sports heavy time of the calendar right now. Bro, if I'm sitting there and I'm writing this show, with all due respect, Sami Zayn pulling Kevin Owens out of the way of a falling Shane McMahon is not going to bring one new casual viewer to the dance. It's not. Nobody's going to talk about this around the water cooler. This isn't oh, did you see Hell in the Cell moment last night? It's none of that. Sami Zayn pulling Kevin Owens out of the way is a spot for the This Is Awesome crowd, which they already have. This pay-per-view tonight is not going to draw any more interest in the product than they had going in tonight. That's the freaking problem, bro. They can't have flat pay-per-views. They can't have okay big shows. The thought should be, how are we going to craft and write this show that we can start building some momentum and getting new customers? This show is not going to get them one new customer.
Well, and the answer to that, people, is to go back to the old format of having fewer pay-per-views. And when we used to have 4 pay-per-views per year, and then it was 6 a year, now it's every month. You can't have a great show you can't have a great pay-per-view 12 times a year and then follow it with Raw, follow it with SmackDown, because then you expect the same quality every time. And if you did cut down the amount of pay-per-views, they're looking to add Starrcade again. Starrcade was great when Ric Flair was there and the NWA and WCW. Starrcade will always be a WCW pay-per-view. Trying to bring it back. You can't bring back the past. You can't bring back the nostalgia of it because Ric Flair's not there. Sting is not there. All the guys who made it great are not there no more. I think if they cut down the amount of pay-per-views, people will appreciate it. If they added things to the matches, you remember Vin in TNA, and you'll remember the philosophy of Dutch Mantel and Jeff Jarrett, where every match there had to be a run-in because that was Memphis-style wrestling,
Yeah.
right? And Memphis finishes, right? And people were into it because they, oh, who's going to run out now? And then people got tired of it. Oh, can't we see a clean finish on something? What's to say that you can't change that philosophy and bring that old mentality back? And that's where I think like a Jerry Lawler, a Jerry Jarrett, even I'm just saying this, a Dutch Mantel or a Jeff Jarrett, the psychology of those times would help the product so much. Just to bring it in for a couple months, just to give it a different flavor, the flavor you're talking about.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the guys to work those controls and give you those ideas, you're listening to a bunch of inexperienced writers who are afraid to say anything to Vince McMahon because they don't want to get yelled at, they don't want to sharpen pencils the rest of their lives. And that's the true thing. The reason you don't have a job and what people don't understand is because you have a voice, you have an opinion, and you might go against the grain. Why isn't Paul Heyman a writer? Because he goes against the grain of what's believable and what's not. Jerry Lawler, he would be great to have in the office, but do they have him there? No, because he has his own view of what's right and wrong. But sometimes you got to inject that flavor into the product to bring it up to speed. I bet you if they did that, they'd see a big difference, just like you're saying. And I think it's just
Vito, sooner or later, they're gonna have to start growing the audience again. Sooner or later, bro. Like I said, bro, do you know, bro, like their last hour of Raw this week was 2.3 million. Bro, freaking when I was at TNA, we were doing 2 million. That's 300,000 more than freaking TNA was doing. Bro, sooner or later, they're going to have to rebuild an audience. I mean, sooner or later. You know, what it really comes down to is how far do they let it fall. But my point is, with finishes like tonight, that's not going to bring new viewers to the show. It's just going to keep the same viewers you have talking, and I think you need to go beyond that. Bro, give me all tell everybody what's going on. Get finish your thought, then tell everybody what's going on with your brand.
Okay. Now, when you say that and people listen to what we're saying, you're talking about numbers and what's good and what's bad. You're talking about TNA. You're talking about WWE. Vince, tell the people the numbers you had in the 3 months that you were at WCW when you started out and it was one number and you had it up to a certain number because you brought a new perspective into wrestling. A perspective people weren't ready for in WCW land because they did not like change. Tell the people how you brought the numbers up with your vision.
Well, when we went in there, they were doing about a 2.5. And keep in mind, me and Ed Ferrara, the first 3 months, we had to kind of break down the house and kind of rebuild the foundation. That's really what we did in the first 3 months. Well, after 3 months, that 2.5 was up to a 3.5. Okay, bro. So one whole ratings point in 3 months. Then the politics came in. Then Vinny Rue went home. Bro, they called me back 3 months later because it went right back down to a 2.5. At that point, though, I knew it was too late because I knew in those 3 months, we raised it one ratings point. We had the freaking people. And they went back to the dog. You remember the dog, the character of the dog? They went back to horrible crap. They got it back down to a 2.5. They call me again. I knew at that point it's gone. We've lost them. We're not getting those people back a second time. And Vito, that's exactly what's happening with the WWE. People they've had are long gone now. They're no way around. Bro, I got to tell Vito, I'm talking to these people one-on-one. When I call these people, when they join the brand, we're having conversations. It's the same conversation with every person. They haven't watched in years. They haven't watched in months. It's not what it used. It's the same conversation with all these freaking people. So not only have they lost people, but now the people are so far away from wrestling, they may never come back. And like I said, bro, I don't know, bro. Maybe a 2.0 is the magic number. Maybe when they fall below 2 million people, Vince McMahon is going to say, okay, we need to change the way we're doing business. But, you know, like I said, man, shows like tonight are not that they're not going to bring new eyeballs to your product.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Vince, I'm going to start off with I'm going to finish the show off and I'm going to do the brand. I didn't mean to cut. I meant to bring that point up because I thought that was important for the people to know, because they're looking at numbers and they're looking at concepts. And you went into WCW with a different vision, and you did, like you said, you tore it down, you built it up, and that's what happened when you have a new way of doing things. And
but also look what happened to me. I mean, you just talked about going against the grain, and that's why people like me aren't writing and Paul Heyman aren't writing. Well, I went against the grain for 3 months, and that's exactly what happened.
And people, when you think about wrestling, and for all the people who listen to the podcast and the things we're telling you, this is true stuff, and this is just reality of wrestling. Because, you know, like we talk about, why are there successful companies? Because there's one boss with one rule, one way of doing things, and everybody listens. But if you don't have a creative mind and let your mind run, and you know that saying that's always says you got to go out and take the brass ring. But when you don't let the person writing the show go out and grab that brass ring, then it kind of takes away from your creative standpoint on what you want to perceive to the public. So you kind of have your hands tied. And when everybody's complaining, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not the same as it used to be. I get the same thing all the time. You know, Vito, when you're wrestling things, I said, and I tell them, I said, it is different. I don't watch like I used to, and I appreciate it. What's the best shows to watch? The old reruns of WCW from the 2090 and the 90 era, because that's when it was interesting and that was good. The places were full, you had fans, you had everything going on. But when you're afraid of change and creativeness and what works in the wrestling business, you know, people just don't want to hear it.
Vito, you know what's the perfect example? I swear to God, bro. Vito, you'd be surprised what young people don't know and don't understand, because we take it for granted because we lived in certain eras through certain things. I challenge anybody, Vito. Here's the best example. And people don't realize this. Go back and look at the Beatles' body of work. Okay, bro, go look at the transition from She Loves You, yeah, I want to hold your hand. Look at the transition through every period of time when their music constantly and dramatically changed with what was happening in society. Bro, you go from the first album, then you go to the Rubber Soul years and the Sgt. Pepper years and the White Album to Let It Be at the end. It's never the same album. It's never the same music. They constantly evolved to what was happening at the freaking time. It's 2017, bro. The Beatles freaking broke up in 1969, and they're more popular today than they were then. Bro, they were broken up when they were 30 years old. People don't understand. The Beatles were broken up before they were in their 30s. John Lennon was dead at 40. People don't realize that, bro. But when you look at that band and the evolution and changing the sound with what was happening, and they are still arguably the most popular band in the world.
Right.
And then you freaking look at wrestling. And you look at the Attitude Era. Look at 1997 to now. Nothing has gone forward. It has not evolved, bro. When something evolves, that means you grow it. Okay, wrestling has not grown. Numbers have not grown. Popularity has not grown. You've got a very small piece of the pie spending all the money. It has not evolved. It has not grown. And it's exactly what you said, Vito. And the most important thing is being scared of change, being afraid of the unknown. Well, what will happen if that doesn't work? Well, it can't be any worse than it is now.
No, it can't. Definitely can't.
So go ahead, bro. Tell us where we can find you.
All right, guys. We'll be getting back this week, and we'll start our stuff up again. We're going to start off with on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. It's at the Big Vito brand. Guys, hit the Twitter. It's at the Big Vito brand. We can always use some more followers. ProWrestlingTees.com/the Big Vito brand. We have some merch up there. Some good stuff. Go out and check it out. Facebook, we have the Big Vito brand. Guys, go on there, press the like button. You get to see what's happening. We're on LinkedIn at the Big Vito brand. And of course, we're here at my #1 show, Getting Color, with Vince Russo on Podcast Realm, the Real Network. It's something that's really unique, something that's happening today. A lot of guys, like I said, a lot of guys would like to have their own show. There's only so many spots to fill. And this is one of the shows that everybody would like to get their hands on. And the reason why, people, is because we came with something different and we changed from the regular wrestling podcasts.
All right, Vito, thanks for joining us, bro. Give your wife my love. Tell her we're all thinking about it. I'm just going to do some housekeeping, and I know it's late, so I don't want to keep you. But as always, bro, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great start to the week. Positive vibes. And thank you for Getting Colors, the Big Vito brand, signing off. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take it easy, Ben.
Take care, Vito. All right, everybody. I want to remind you, if you're listening to this show on Podcast One, it is, I believe it is Tuesday, October 10th. So remember, bro, you have till October 14th to join the Realm Network, get all our shows on video, get Castrating the Marks exclusively on the Realm Network, uncensored, unfiltered, unadulterated, commercial free now. You will only hear that on the Realm Network. You get 5 days of programming a week, $3.95 a month. That's less than $1 a week. And if you sign up by the 14th, you only got 4 days. I will call you personally. I'm just about done calling the people from October 1st to October 4th. Tomorrow I'll get a list of the 5th through the 8th. And listen, bro, I'm going to call you. If I say I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you. Yeah, listen, bro, I had one dradrul. You know what a dradrul is? A dradrul is an imbecile in Italian. I had one imbecile say, I signed up for the Realm Network yesterday, and Vince Russo hasn't called me. If he doesn't call me by tomorrow, then I'm going to ask for my money back. Bro, do me a favor. Ask for your money back. Okay, bro? Because I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to call you, I'm going to call you. And I've been calling people every single day. I've called about 20 people so far. I will call you, bro. But, bro, I'm not going to call you on your time. Okay? I am going to call you when the call fits into my schedule. So if you're going to write tweets out there and tell me you're going to cancel your subscription because I didn't call you quick enough, then do me a favor. Do us both a favor. Cancel your subscription. Don't tell me when I'm going to freaking call you, because there are 20 people out there right now that will tell you not only did I call them, the conversations are at least 10, 15 minutes long. We talk about everything. But you only got 4 days left. You go to the Realm Network, RELM network.com, or you go to russosbrand.com. Tomorrow, we're going to have a very special guest on the show. My father, the turncoat, the Benedict Arnold of professional wrestling. will be a guest on my show. We're going to let the fur fly, as they say, and it's going to be something you don't want to miss. Remember, 4 days, RELMnetwork.com or russosbrand.com. I will personally call you. See you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.